If you wanted to, you would. It's simple, but it's true. That line hits people because it forces you to stop and look at what's really going on. Everyone says they want to feel better, to get back in shape, to finally follow through. But most people are still just waiting and delaying and procrastinating actually making that progress. And it's not that you don't care, it's that you've started believing a few things that sound true, but keep you stuck. Beliefs like, I don't have time. I'm just not motivated right now. I don't even know where to start. I don't know what the right plan is for me. I hear those from almost every person who's been stuck in that same I'll start soon cycle. So today I want to break those down, not to call you out, but to coach you through that mindset that's holding you back. Because once you understand what's really underneath those excuses, you can actually start changing it. So this is applicable whether you are someone who is deep in the process and doing the things every day and are wondering anytime you start to struggle, you come off track, maybe your schedule changed, you moved, you have stresses pop up, someone got sick, whatever is holding you back. But those things don't have to be a massive barrier for you. The thing that typically happens in those moments is people typically come back to one of these excuses as they go through and think like, okay, well, like, why bother? Why should I even do this in the first place? And so we're going to break these down, give you some tangible ways to kind of think through them to actually stay on track and continue making progress. Or if you're someone who has not begun or you're just delaying it, you push it off 3, 6, 9 months, multiple years, and you're like searching for the right thing, searching for the process, using these things as excuses. This is for you specifically to identify why you're doing that. And then actually not just identify the why, because that's important, but that only gets you so far. Now it's actually like identify that why and take the step towards actually making progress and committing to it. Because you can spend years thinking about something, but the moment you have the opportunity to take action, you have to actually take action and not need more time to think about it. Because the second you do that, you're just pushing it off with more and more inaction. So let's start with the big one. I don't have time. You're busy, and that's real. You've got a career, maybe a family, obligations that didn't exist when you were competing, when you were a student athlete. You wake up and before the day even starts, you're already behind. But think back to when you were an athlete. You had early lifts, class, film, travel, practices, study hall, and you still showed up. You didn't have more time then. You just didn't have a choice. They were non negotiables. Now you do. And that's the difference. The truth is, I don't have time really means it's not a priority right now because people make time for what matters. You don't forget to eat. You don't forget to check your phone. You don't run out of time to scroll through Instagram or watch Netflix. It's not about time. It's about priority. And the second you realize that, you stop waiting for life to slow down because life won't slow down. The calendar won't magically clear up. The people who stay consistent aren't the ones who found more time. They're the ones who stopped waiting for perfect conditions. Once you stop believing you need more time, you start realizing you just need to use the time you already have differently. And that brings us to the next belief, the one that feels the most convincing, and that's I'm not motivated. Motivation is one of the biggest myths in fitness, and it's the biggest myth that holds back athletes once they finish their career because we talk about it like it's a gas tank. Like you can't move until it shows up. But that's not how it works. You don't get motivated and then take action. You take action, and that's what creates motivation. Think about the times you forced yourself to train when you didn't feel like it. The hardest part was putting on your shoes, making it to the gym, getting out of bed in the morning when your bed's nice and cozy. Once you started moving, the energy showed up. And by the end, you were glad you went. That's not motivation. That's just momentum and actually getting that process started versus making the decision when you are incredibly comfortable to do something that's going to make you uncomfortable. And you built that momentum by actually taking movement and taking action. Right now, you're treating motivation like it's a prerequisite, but it's not a requirement. It's a reward for you consistently making the right decisions and the right habits daily. It shows up after you move, not before. And the truth is, when you say, I'm not motivated, what you're usually saying is, I don't trust myself to follow through, or it's not a priority to me right now. These other things take precedent. You've tried before, maybe started strong and fell off, so you stopped believing your own words. And that's frustrating because you expect yourself to be able to hold yourself to a schedule, but you aren't, we're not in a world when you were an athlete when those 20 hours a week were optional. Like it was countable athletic related activity. It was required of you. So why would you expect the second that all of these things become purely optional for you for the rest of your life that you're just going to have like that sudden motivation again? And that's not something that you ever had to rely upon an athlete. Yes, like maybe to get to that upper echelon of effort and focus and dedication to truly achieve what you were capable of as an athlete. Yes, maybe motivation played a factor there and got the most out of some days, or some days you didn't give your best, but you were still there every single day, which right now, as a person that is no longer competing as a college athlete, just showing up and taking action is going to get you to where you want to go. So why would we not just take the action and focus and worry about motivation later? And you'll start to realize you don't even need it. It doesn't have to be a factor for you. So you've tried, but that's also where you kind of need to start rebuilding, because motivation isn't something you wait for. It's something you prove to yourself through small wins. You don't have to overhaul everything over tonight. You just have to take one step that aligns with who you say you want to be. And once you do that belief, the one that says that I'm not ready, that starts to kind of fall apart because you've already started making progress, and it's really simple. And it doesn't have to be this massive thing that you accomplish. It can start with not even starting, like if we're talking about fitness, it doesn't have to start with exercise. It can start with, okay, well, I spend 2 hours a night watching Netflix. I'm going to cut it back and I'm just like going to watch an hour. Or I'm not going to watch Netflix at night. Or I know that I have 3 beers on Saturday and I'm just like worthless doing nothing on Sunday. Well, if you know you don't get what you need to accomplish, stop drinking. Like stop eating crap. Do things that help you feel better. Those small actions will eventually lead you down the path, but you always move further away or towards the person that you want to be by your daily actions. So why would you not take those actions that align with who you want to be and what you want your future to look like, and the confidence you want to have when you are at the beach with your wife, or the confidence you want to have on your wedding day, or the fact that you want to be around for your grandkids? Those moments and motivations are significantly more valuable to you than those little decisions you're making today that hold you back. Now, as athletes, we have a tendency to overanalyze, to expect things to look a certain way because we had a perfectly curated schedule for us. We had a perfectly curated training plan. We had a strength coach, registered dietitian, head coach, assistant coaches, athletic trainers, student athlete or academic support. We had all these people design this for us. So we think like that's the plan that we need. And yes, like by all means, like if you look at the way we go about things, we give you all of that again. So you don't have to worry about that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you have to start. Now, I don't know where to start. Like sounds smart. It sounds responsible because you're telling yourself, I just want to make sure I do it right this time. But usually that's just fear dressed up as logic. You do know where to start. You know you should move more. You should eat a little better. You should drink some water. You should go to bed earlier. You've known those things for years, but saying I don't know where to start gives you permission to not start moving. It keeps you in the research phase, in the safe phase, where you feel productive but never have to actually act. Now, here's the truth. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to start with what's possible. The perfect plan you keep waiting for won't make you consistent. Action will. And this idea that you have to start perfectly or not at all, that's the belief that needs to die. You don't need to know everything. You just need to do something. Walk for 20 minutes. Track your food for a few days. Go to the gym once this week. That's how you build clarity, by actually doing versus waiting for that perfect process to show up. Every step gives you feedback for what's actually going to be working for you. And you'll start to recognize very quickly, hey, I'm trending in the direction that I actually should be moving. Sitting still doesn't give you any feedback, doesn't give you any progress, just confirmation that you are not making any progress towards the person that you want to be and how you want to show up for you, for your family, for the loved ones, for the rest of your life. Once you understand that, everything gets a little less complicated. We just recognize we just have to take action and spend less time thinking about it. Now, the real belief. If we're being honest, it's not about time or motivation or knowledge. It's about belief. The beliefs you build as an athlete, the ones that push you to chase perfection, to go all in, never show weakness, they don't work here anymore. They don't work in your life now. You're not in that season. You are in real life. And if you keep applying the same all or nothing mindset, you'll keep burning out and starting over. You've convinced yourself that if it's not the extreme 100% all in, everything I have, dedicated schedule, that if you can't go 100%, it's not worth it or you shouldn't bother. But that belief is what's holding you back from being 70% consistent, which, by the way, would absolutely change your life and get you in the direction that you want to go towards being happy, healthy, confident for the rest of your life. You've got to start believing that the small actions, the daily actions, actually count, that doing something imperfectly is always better than doing nothing perfectly. That consistency, not intensity, not dedication to 100% the entire week, is what builds confidence again. When you let go of the belief that everything has to look like it used to, you finally start making progress that lasts because you stop performing, you stop thinking about athletic excellence, being our absolute best every single day, and you start building daily progress that eventually leads to the direction that you want to go. So here's what I want you to think about. What belief is still running your mind? What belief is taking control of the thoughts that you have daily? Is it, I don't have time? Is it, I'm not motivated? Is it, I don't know where to start? Or maybe it's a quiet one that says, like, what's the point? I failed before. Whatever it is, that belief is lying to you. And the only way to prove it is wrong is through taking action today. You don't need to fix everything today. You just need to move. Do one thing that lines up with who you want to become, not who you've been, because that's how belief changes, not thinking through that you have to have this perfect process. Think, I need proof today that I got a little bit better. And at the end of the day, if you wanted that progress, you would. If this hit home for you, you've got two options. You can take what we've talked about today and start putting it into practice on your own, apply it, build momentum, prove to yourself that you can do this. Or if you're ready to stop guessing and actually know you'll make progress, fill out the application and show notes. That's where we'll see if coaching is a good fit for you and help you build a real plan behind it. Either way, you need to start moving. If this had an impact on you, please share it with a friend, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.